US B-1B bomber, aircraft built for Russia's nuclear bombing. The Rockwell B-1 Lancer is a supersonic variable sweep-wing, heavy bomber used by the United States Air Force. It is commonly called Boeing, from B-1. It is one of 3 strategic bombers to serve in the U.S. Air Force fleet, along with the B-2 Spirit and B-52 Stratofortress in 2022. The B-1 was first envisioned in the 1960s as a platform that would combine the Mach 2 speed of the B-58 Hustler with the range and payload of the B-52, and was ultimately intended to replace both bombers. After a long series of studies, Rockwell International, now part of Boeing, won a design contest for what emerged as the B-1A. This version has a top speed of Mach 2.2 at high altitude and the ability to fly for long distances at Mach 0.85 at very low altitude. The combination of the aircraft's high cost, the introduction of the AGM-86 cruise missile that flies at the same basic speed and range, and early work on a stealth bomber all significantly reduced the need for the B-1. B-1B Lancer is a long-range, multi-mission supersonic conventional bomber that has served the United States Air Force since 1985. It is on track to continue flying at today's demanding operating tempo through 2040 and beyond, and Boeing is partnering with the Air Force to keep the B-1 mission ready. Originally designed for nuclear capability, the B-1 transitioned to an exclusively conventional combat role in the mid-1990s. In 1999, during Operation Allied Forces, 6 B-1s flew 2% of strike missions, but dropped 20% of armament. And during Operation Enduring Freedom, B-1s flew with 2% of sorties, while dropping more than 40%. Precision weapons. The B-1 has been deployed almost continuously in combat operations in Afghanistan and Iraq since 2001. The B-1B Lancer bomber became one of the fearsome weapons of the United States, U.S., when it was involved in the Cold War with the Soviet Union. It was built to bomb the country's nuclear, which is now called Russia. The B-1B Lancer was designed to be the primary delivery mechanism for the U.S. nuclear war triad in the 1980s should Russia break out. The imagined conflict did not occur and only became what is known as the Cold War. After the end of the Cold War with the collapse of the Soviet Union, the B-1B switched from a nuclear bombing mission to a conventional bomber. The plane remained in use for war after the September 11, 2001 attacks, otherwise known as the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The B-1B Lancer became the bomber of choice during what the Washington government called the War on Terror. The countries that were destroyed by the bombing of this plane were Iraq and Afghanistan. Citing published report 1945, Monday, 28/3/2022. The B-1B made up a proportion of the total munitions dropped after 2001, an era when it punished multiple targets in Iraq and Afghanistan. But some B-1Bs are showing their age with extensive wear and tear. In 2019, only a handful were airworthy as they were widely used in the conflict. The B-1B can cause a variety of guided and unguided things. The aircraft is versatile and mostly thrives in high operational tempo environments. It still has the speed and maneuverability as a mainstay in major joint war plans. Known as the Bone, the B-1B will eventually be announced by the B-21 Raider, but that transition will likely not fully occur for the next